All right, welcome to the webinar on lean leadership in the new normal. Even though the term new normal is not only to do with the pandemic, it became much popular with the COVID pandemic, isn't it? Because unlike ever before, the companies are changing their patterns. They are moving on to flexible working patterns. Some companies have added health related items to their product portfolios, and new businesses, new startups on safety equipment, and they're coming up. And even the supply chain in manufacturing is also getting changed because during the time of the pandemic, the raw material became a problem because the countries were closed. So the companies are now thinking of having their own in the entire supply chain. So these things are getting changed, and that's basically what the new normal is all about after this pandemic. And we see the organizations which are agile and face the uncertainty better thrive, while the ones who are not are struggling. And during the unprecedented times, what matters is how fast we can get into the regular rhythm and how fast we can change our mindsets for a long view. And let's look how the lean leadership traits will help us to better face this new normal. And to talk about it today, we have three individuals who have transformed businesses and people over the years, and let me introduce them to you. And to begin with, we have Edwin Boone. Edwin Boone is CE certified Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt and is the CEO of the Lean Six Sigma Company USA. And he backs experience from financial services, healthcare, government, manufacturing, and retail. He was the Vice President, Lean Six Sigma and Customer Experience in Sleep Number in the USA, Master Black Belt, GE Capital in the USA, CFO, Hertz Leasing in Europe, and he has also led hundreds of projects in improving customer experience, services, manufacturing, sales, supply chain, product design, warranties, and IT. Edwin holds a Dutch finance and accounting degree and has global work experience in Netherlands, UK, Germany, Switzerland, France, and the USA. And that's Edwin for you. And now it's my pleasure introducing Sajiva. Sajiva Vitarana is a business transformational expert and CEO of Mahatana Plantation Private Limited. Over the past 20 years, he has used his skills in achieving operational excellence, business transformation in a diversified set of industries, which includes apparel, plantation, food processing, and aviation. Before forming his own business venture, Mahatana Plantation Private Limited, he has held many leadership positions such as COO, director, general manager, and overall operational management, including quality, technical, and operational management in leading multinational companies such as MS Holdings, New Zealand milk company known as Fonterra, AmSafe, Ananta Intimates, Freshtex, distributed in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, China, Philippines, and India. Sajiva holds his master's in business administration from University of Western Sydney, and he is a certified ISO consultant and ISO lead auditor. And that's Sajiva for you. And then we have Pradesh. Pradesh Vanyarachi is a managing partner of Lean Six Sigma Company Asia, and he's a certified Lean Six Sigma Master Black Belt, and he holds his MBA, Master of Arts in Financial Economics, Bachelor of Science, Special Degree in Statistics from University of Colombo. Pradesh brings in over 14 years of industry experience while holding many senior management positions in several leading multinational organizations in Sri Lanka, including head of parts Associated Motorways and head of planning for AkzoNobel Paints Lanka. He also works as a visiting lecturer in Sri Lanka Institute of Marketing and a resource person to University of Peradeniya in Industrial Engineering Department, specialized in the areas of Lean Six Sigma, integrated business planning, qualitative and quantitative analytics, statistical forecasting, advanced statistical data modeling, data visualization, and operational research. And they are the panelists who will be sharing their experience and expertise today. And we have 2 rounds of questions covering the lean leadership traits and how we can use them in the new normal. At the end of the 2 rounds, all of you, the participants, can post your questions to us, and we are trying our best to accommodate your questions based on the time. And you can do so through the Q&A option that is available in the Zoom that you see right in front of you. And with that, we are ready to start. And the first question is directed to Edwin. Edwin, why do we see a difference between traditional organizational approach versus lean organizational approach?
Great. Thank you, Nuwan, for that introduction, and welcome everybody. I'm glad to be a panelist and be here today with you. So yeah, great question. So the difference between a traditional organization and a lean organization, if over my career, if I think about it, and thinking of a traditional organization, right, not applying problem-solving methodologies, you see them often jumping to solutions. There is pain in the organization, and immediately want to solve that. And the challenge with that is that oftentimes they are not successful because they do not understand the problem of what they're trying to solve. And more importantly, they also don't understand the root cause of what is leading to the problem. And so by jumping to solutions, it's sort of like, you might get lucky, but oftentimes you do not get lucky. So the problem doesn't go away. And again, that leads to increased cost, inefficiency, ineffectiveness. And so dealing with just symptoms rather than taking the root cause away is what I often see with traditional organizations. And dealing with symptoms is like, okay, you just delivered something late to a customer. Let's give them a discount. So hopefully they're happy. But what you rather want to do is, okay, why was I late? And eliminate that so next time you're not late and you don't have upset customers. The other thing that I see is like this trial and error approach, a shotgun approach, rather than structured problem solving, where you go through steps to figure out what is the problem, what is the root cause, then I get to solutions and we make sure the problem stays fixed. So this shotgun approach, this trial and error approach, again, very inefficient, successful, maybe not so much. And the other thing that I see between traditional and lean organizations is, in a traditional environment, you might do problem solving, but how effective are you actually? I often see just incremental improvements. And what is incremental improvements? Well, I always say that's like making something 10 to 20% better. But going for a lean approach, a Lean Six Sigma approach, where you truly eliminate root cause, I see transformational improvement. I see improvements like 50, 60, maybe even 80% of processes, of product defects getting better. So these are some major reasons why traditional organizations often do not succeed in addressing the true productivity inefficiencies they have in their organization. Be it defects, be it delays in processes. And actually, that leads only to more cost. Because if you're delayed, if you have defects, now you have to bring the product back, you have to send out a new product, that's additional cost. If you are delayed, you have to send out another truck or go out another day. And all of these things lead to more and more cost. So with a lean approach, we always say you go slow to ultimately go fast. Because we first think about what is the problem here, perhaps collect some data around it so we truly understand the magnitude of the problem. Then we go and find out what the root causes are and eliminating those, and then we come up with solutions. And this is a proven model that is applied globally with lots and lots of organizations, and it works. So, and then I want to have some a final comments, because we're not talking here. Often people think lean is for, okay, we'll just take headcount out. We'll take people out. No, that's a false statement. What is true though, is people are not a waste, but their talents are wasted on wasteful activities like rework, dealing with delays, etc. They don't add value to customers. So what we do with Lean Six Sigma is we truly improve productivities by eliminating wasteful steps, so that people's time and energy gets redirected to activities that truly add value to the customer. And I think that's the difference between traditional and lean organizations. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah. All right. So thank you, Edwin, for clarifying the difference between a traditional organizational approach and a lean organizational approach. It's not just about having all these processes, but how effectively that you're using them for better results. That's what. Now, with what Edwin said, we're now moving on to understand how the leaders should transform themselves through lean leadership traits. Sajiva, what is the lean leadership role in today's businesses? How can you explain it?
Let me share this screen. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it coming?
Okay. Yeah.
Right. First of all, let me thank Lean Six Sigma company for giving this opportunity. My explanation on lean, as it's a very vital, very important question, how this lean been adopted and taken in. And my explanation is working with my career experience, which working in organizations. Most of the cases, the companies which is struggling, how it came up and how it was transformed. Lean, I'll look at it on when it comes for lean leadership traits in two folds, I'll put it. One is the visionary, another one is creating passion among the team who works with you, how you look after, how they support them in this lean transformation. And moment you go to lean leadership traits on visionary side, where you have to look at in our organization about 3 years, depending on the organization, 5 years. So it's really required to look at it your next year with the current situation. Also, the lean leadership should have, I'll explain later about the problem solving and anticipating the opportunities. When you look at it as a trait, when you look at for the future of the organization where you want to be, you have to create a mechanism how this team get engaged, involved. For that, you create your strategies, or it may be 3 years. Then you get it to a place where the team comes as well as review it, and where you put it to a visual form where the projects supporting these strategies are taking place. Same way, I'm being a business leader, always insisting for the next level management also to do that, creating the environment where their subordinators or the teams who comes and working on. Like that, you cascade downwards to a quality circle or working group. So that's a trait, one side, the leadership on the visionary, how you work on. For that, I have to say, the place that they work, okay, when I was in Bangladesh, I was saying Obeya room. I had 2 Obeya room. One is for the operations. So for that, another one is for the front end, where the marketing as well as sales, which used to come as a review on the projects, what they are doing. Or make people aware and take them binding. What the mechanism we had this leader standard worksheet, where it was clearly indicate what time they have to come, what they have to review. So that's something which I would say on the income of policy deploy. Second part, what I was saying, creating passion. So it is the synchronization between the lean tools and your team. You get into your car, you start it without shifting your gear. You just put your pedal down. What you'll get? Only the noise. So when you come for lean leadership traits, to move the vehicle, if you really want to, there is a synchronization you have to do and shift the gear. Same way, the lean leadership has to understand your team and the lean tools, what lean tools that you have to bring, because there are hundreds of lean tools that when it comes to lean implementation. So with that, when it comes for lean tools, how it's been implemented, the most important part, how you work with your team, is because moment now I'm in plantation sector. Earlier I was in apparel, as well as in different sectors. Moment you go looking at the processes, you will see a lot of ways why the team is very comfortable with the current state. So to challenge it, the leadership has to have the traits of challenging the process. Then again, the continuation, where in a service or a product, it has to be without having huge inventories between, without having stop start. You have to see a continuous flow, which is coming with a value stream thinking. Having that is most important. More than that, when your team needs a mindset change, the lean leader has to have the traits of training. When your team is struggling, the lean leader should have the traits of being a mentor, go as well, support them and just work on. When the team needs certain techniques, the lean leadership has to have the skill of being a coach. So this is something when we look at in summary at the traits. Let me go, and most important part is the problem solving, because Edwin was also saying it, how you structure your problem solving and eliminate waste. For this, I'll take good example. Very recently, in central part of Sri Lanka, there was a bus accident which resulted to kill about 14 people. Same way, in 2016, there had been a bus accident in Japan. It was in Nagona hill area, which killed again 14 people. So let's see how Japanese look at that incident, right? We went, look at it. What was the resting intervals the drivers was having before they start? They went to the level of age analysis. One was at around 60, another one was on 57, the co-drive. So then they look at what the company, the bus company, the regulations. Then they look at the compensation, how it works. Actually, the Japanese government insists this company to pay millions to the victims. So like that, then they look at it again, break down it. What are the safety precautions which have? The seat belts are there, the cameras are there, and how is it? With that, they came on a regulations. Seat belts became mandatory, and then the cameras became as a regulatory requirement. And then they will declare the resting periods and the regulation that needs. So look at now, because since I have worked in India, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka, and I have been again having certain workings in China. When you look at this, when you have these road accidents, the way how it's handled and how is Japanese look at it. So same way at workplace also, you have to have a structured problem solving. For that, we know there had been in earlier stage 7 quality tools which comes in. Then again, with lean, you have 8-step problem solving where how you break down and look at it, the temporary countermeasures as well as driving to permanent countermeasures, as had been said. And again, 5I analysis. So in summary, what I want to say, one answering to you, the lean leadership traits, one is visionary, one other part is we are creating passion among the team. How do you look after, how you guide, how you drive lean tools with the team. And the other part is where you have to inculcate a proper problem solving culture. That's what I have to say. Thank you.
All right. So Sajiva beautifully explained, and it took you explained beautifully with this example here how we looked at the bus accident and how Japanese did it, and how that they have made their decisions and they have taken action. And you brought out two different terms which are very much important, which is the visionary and creating passion within the team that will support you to be a better lean leader and make your company moving forward. So with that, now we are moving on to the next question, and this is directed to Pradesh. Now, we hear many say that the lean is only for production or manufacturing. Pradesh, is it true? Or can't we apply in service sector?
Yeah, firstly, good evening to everyone, the panelists and my dear audience. Answering to your question, before that, I need to highlight one thing. This particular question is one of the most common question and highest number of times people ask from me, and I'm sure even the audience also having that in their mind. So it's a really good question, and highly appreciate asking that question from me, Nuwan. Right. So single answer. No, it is not only for manufacturing. If you look at any industry, from manufacturing to the service industry, academic, IT, finance, any industry you name, you can apply lean methodology or lean initiatives. Why I'm saying that? The answer is very simple. As long as if you are running processes to deliver goods or services, there you can apply lean methodology. That's my simplest way of answering. Coming back to your question, the service industry, and of course before that I need to tell you something. Why people have this in their mind that lean is only for manufacturing? If you go back to the history, the roots, it is actually started in manufacturing, especially in Japan automobile industry. That is why people thinking this is for manufacturing. It's not the case. So I'm going to explain this with several areas highlighting. The first thing, and the other thing is, service industry, it is equally important. Sometimes it is more than the manufacturing industry. It is important for service industry to take lean initiatives. Let me explain why. There are a few points I want to highlight. I'm starting with the first one. In manufacturing industry, the waste can be easily seen to take required actions. Now, waste, there are 8 types of waste. If I highlight few of them: inventory, defects, transport, motion, overprocessing, overproduction, defects. All these you can easily see in manufacturing industry physically. But in service industry, this is totally different. The waste cannot be seen that easily because it is the people who are working in the systems. The waste or the inefficiencies only can be seen once you start visualize them or map them. The second point, unlike manufacturing sector, in the service sector, the product is not tangible. I mean, physically, you can't touch and see. So it is the customer in the service industry, it is the customer going through the processes instead of you producing something tangible. So we call it a customer experience. So that means you work in a really critical, challenging environment. So another point I want to highlight, in manufacturing industry, the end customer cannot see your internal processes. It's like a black box. He only will receive the end product in good quality. After all, maybe the rectifications needed. So final product, the customer will receive. But in service industry, you don't have that luxury, as the customer is part of each and every process step. I'll give you a simple example. If you look at a bank, let's say a customer is applying for a loan process. So what is the process? If I simply highlight it, so you meet the marketing officer. So there is an introduction, customer experience. Then after that, front officer, you hand over the document, again interaction. So then the credit officer, credit evaluation, again some interaction. So then the legal department, again interaction. If you look at backward processes, each and every process, there is a customer interaction, the service. So service industry is facing a huge challenge in this. They can't have any issue in any of these processes. If you have an issue, that's the end of it. Customer is gone. So considering all these factors, now you will understand lean methodology has a very vital role to play in service sector, especially when we consider especially, there are certain tools you have lean to address this: value stream mapping, process mapping, SIPOC, or problem solving tools like 5Eyes, Fishbone. So these are the tools you have to use address these issues in service industry. You nicely can visualize. Then only you see inefficiency. Then only you can address them. The other question, another area I want to highlight: it is not only the service sector companies. Any organization, you have support services. That is something missed by everyone. The support services, they also play a vital role. They also deliver in some service. I can name them: HR, finance, sales, marketing, procurement, logistics. All these, you have plenty of room for improvement. Nuwan, I think I have answered your question.
All right. So you wonderfully brought everything down here, Pradesh. I hope that anyone who thinks that lean is only for manufacturing or production got an answer. And it is not only for manufacturing or production. It can be done at any organization that is there in the current world. So thank you very much, Pradesh, for that explanation. And with that, we are completing the first round of questions. We understood about the difference of a traditional approach in an organization and a lean approach in an organization. We understood about it. And then we understood how the lean leadership comes into play in the current businesses. And then wanted to understand whether we can apply lean to the service sector. So we understood it is not only for production or manufacturing, we can have it anywhere we want. So with that, now we are moving on to the second round of questions. And again, I'm coming back to Edwin. The COVID pandemic hit businesses across the world badly. And some industries are struggling, some are surviving, while some are overperforming. And for those who are struggling and surviving, Edwin, how lean initiatives can help to overcome the current challenges faced in the new normal after the pandemic?
Yeah, that is a great question. And certainly in the United States, where I am, what we've seen is that a lot of organizations had to let go of people because basically, the revenue wasn't there. And but it's not going to stay that way. Once this pandemic is over, that economy is going to grow again. And they are not just going to hire everybody back. And so what these organizations are going to be facing with is they have to figure out how to do more with less, more so than ever. I mean, that has always been the case. Can we do more with less? Of course. But now more than ever, because these people already have been let go. And that our economy is going to start growing again. And I think the secret to that is productivity. And if you think, I mean, Sajiva and Pradesh both talked about waste. And, if you really think about how much waste there is in the process, it's not uncommon that we see 60 to 90% of a process is pure waste. So what does that mean when I say 60 to 90%? I am saying that 60 to 90% of certain processes, certainly in the services industry, can be pure waste. And that leads to low productivity levels. That means, like, for example, you mentioned the bank example, how many mortgages can you produce in an hour? What I've seen is that after you take the waste out, we see 10-fold increases in the number of mortgages an organization can produce. That's what I mean with productivity. People are doing activities like in current state, and it's hidden productivity. They can do much more if you take waste out. And that's what we do with lean, right? We take wait times out, we take rework loops out. Pradesh talked about defects. We make sure we avoid errors on forms. We avoid that we're wasting time correcting incomplete information. All of these elements in processes cause processes to severely slow down, products having a lot of defects. And that's what we do in Lean Six Sigma. We analyze that, we get the root cause, and we take it away. So with that, you get substantial more productivity. And that's what these organizations now need to focus on. Really, I think after COVID, you need to be thinking in your organizations, process, process, process. You need to be thinking how you can be better than your competitors. Otherwise, you'll be losing market share because they're going to figure it out. They are going to figure it out. They are going to figure out how they can increase productivity. They need to, because that economy is growing. You need to be there. So for that, you need to be faster. You need to provide more reliable products. And one of my passions is you need to deliver a fantastic customer experience. And so the Lean Six Sigma methodology is the way to do all that. It's been proven around the globe. Many organizations have gone before you and figured this out. But get on that bandwagon. Think now Lean Six Sigma. Think now process, because your competitors are already doing it. And once you start growing, and the economy starts growing, you need to be ready with your processes. That means process re-engineering. Maybe that means robotics, whatever it is. Maybe it's in the services industry, just purely taking waste out. Maybe it's reducing defects, but learning the Lean Six Sigma tools now will be critical to long-term survival. Now is the time to stabilize. Now is the time to figure out, once that economy starts growing fast again, how can I be there? How can I play catch up? So with that, the need for Lean Six Sigma is going to be more than ever before. I'm already seeing it in the United States. In the United States, last year, it was basically a pause in terms of process improvement. There were no trainings done. Everybody was in a mode of stabilizing. This year, I mean, I can't keep up. The demand is so high for Lean Six Sigma training, even in a virtual environment, because the vaccinations are going incredibly fast. I think in a matter of weeks, every adult will be vaccinated. So I'm already seeing a huge demand for Lean Six Sigma. So be ready and think about it. If this is what you're considering personally for your organization, think about it hard, because you need it sooner than you realize. So Lean Six Sigma is about doing things faster, provide more reliable products, and providing a better customer experience. Thank you.
Right. So thank you very much for that explanation. Yes, we are in the new normal. Things will change fast, as you said, and by that time we got to be ready. And Lean Six Sigma is going to be the answer for it. So with that, we're moving on to the next question. Sanjeeva, we know that you have worked towards setting up companies completely changing for results and have faced challenges in diversified organizations. How can you share your experience and expertise in using lean initiatives to support, survive, grow, transform, and initiate businesses during new normal? Sanjeeva? Yes.
All right, it's a very valid question.
Yeah.
So let me share a slide. So you can see the slide?
Yeah.
Okay. When you come for new normal, it is where we have to understand A lot of uncertainties are there when you work on, right? So at a macro level, a lot of changes. The products are getting shifted. New products are emerging, as you said. Then when it comes for supply chain, you explain it nicely at the very beginning. And when it comes for exchange restrictions, then again, there is a huge restriction when it comes for movements. Especially when you look at, because there is a what you call a dilemma saying how the front end works. I have to say, now the modelers earlier used to come and look fit at a place, but now when you look at the sample, you can't go sample. I'm just giving you one example. Sample hit rate has to be, you have to understand the customer requirement as well as do the sample as soon as possible, because there is no such way where you can have back and forth conversation. That's what Edwin is saying. With new normal, the demand of lean is increasing than ever before. So answering to your question, I'll go through the change that we went through when we come for, okay, I'll take new normal. With that, the part one is COVID in the early last year. There was a issue which saying the inventories. Some suppliers stopped their production, and even the transportation was the airlines and all this, especially from Far East. As well, we had certain inventories, and there's a demand which on cash flow requirement, right, to survive. So for what we have to do? First, what we have, the inventories that we have in our warehouses has to utilize and transform into cash. Partly as well as in West and US, the customers also start to shift as well as shut down their stores and various. So where you have to have proper communication, which we went to the virtual business more than earlier the formal discussion. So with that, how first step is how we work on the inventories and how we survive in the cash. Second part is, as the demand increased, luckily when I was in Bangladesh, it was on lingerie. We knew that the customers will definitely need this because it's essential. But what has happened is there was a sudden decline on the capacity. But with that, then there is a demand which to survive us, how you get hibernate. And most important, as Edwin said, because you can't eliminate jobs. We have to see, we have to respect the lean norms. No one loses the job. So the team who's there, right, work hard. It was day and night, long hours discussion, how to rationalize the capacity. What are the areas? Because certain areas within the business looking at the future, because we all knew that this we will be coming out of this thing and there will be a new normal start. For that, we have to see the samples or the development side working on, understand the customer. As I said, it has to be have a higher hit rate than ever before. So because of that, where we work on rationalize the cadre or the capacity. With that, there were, since we went on a structured analysis of the capacity and working on what is the situation, it was very transparent. Because this is the beauty of lean. If you really do it, that's why I said, when you create the passion, then you will have a proper communication and understanding what is happening because everyone is engaged. I was saying in visionary, how it's been cascaded downwards as well as upwards. It's not a one-way communication. It's again downwards. Then the team was voluntarily taking certain steps to survive because they all knew it's a temper. Because they're from 1,200, it went to 500 capacity requirement. But ultimately, when it comes for October, November, we end up with 2,500 on the capacity side. I'm talking about only the headcount. On the revenue, it's the same thing. It was double. So that's how it works. Because when you come for lean transformation, how you work on a structured analysis, how you work on a structured problem solving, more than how you bring up the transparency where you have the binding of everybody being the part of this, make that them part of the organization and part of the problem to solve. So that's what I want to say. When you come for really, when you go for a new normal situation, how you handle. So I believe that I explained one.
Yeah, Sajeeva. Yeah, very much clear. Yes, the structured approach. So everything matters. Yes. And with that, we can move on to the next question, and this is directed to Pradesh. Change is inevitable, but the change, it's not easy to transform a traditional organization to a lean organization. It will definitely have a lot of challenges. And what are the key challenges in lean implementation, and how can we answer them? How have you experienced them in trying to do that, Pradesh?
Yes. Yeah, it's a very valid question. Again, timely, important question. These challenges. Now, in the past few sessions, we all discussed about the importance of lean, how lean will help you, but still when it comes to implementation, so there are challenges. So though there are endless benefits of lean, still there are challenges in implementing them in traditional organizations. That's what we see. So I'm going to explain them. I have like a few areas to highlight where you really have to think of. Firstly, it is the resistance coming from employees in the organization internally. So one reason I believe is the big, there's a big misunderstanding of change could lead to loss of jobs. We have seen this, we have heard people saying this. So if you look at the reality, that is not true at all. Actually, what happens is lean will help the organization to reduce or eliminate non-value adding activities or time in the process. So there is a significant amount of time saving, which helps the employee to use that additional time for more value adding activities, especially in the area of customer relationship building. So it's not, losing removing the person. It's about saving the time, that additional time the same person can use for value-adding activities. So the other reason connected to this employee resistance, I see, is the natural behavior of people resisting change. So you may have already heard people say, so we always do it this way. So why we should change? A common question. So what they never realized is everything around them is changing. The customer is changing, the environment is changing, and new challenges are emerging. Now it is high time for them to change themselves. So change management initiatives are required to build a strong culture in the organization to support this change. Then next point, lack of commitment from top management due to a less understanding of basic lean principles and their benefits is another change. Another challenge I see. What they haven't realized is the direct impact to their P&L through huge cost savings as a result of lean initiatives. There are plenty of examples of the success stories I can bring. So globally as well as locally, you have seen it. Another common misconception, lean is only for service industry, which I already explained with you. So now you understand it's not only for manufacturing, service industry. Also these lean initiatives are important. Service industry, support services, everywhere you can put lean and get results. So then last but not least, the communication gaps within and across different layers of the organization. Also a challenge I see, especially when it comes to communicating management expectations, employee feedbacks and ideas. And what I propose is both top-down and bottom-up approach should be there, especially when it comes to communication. It should be encouraged within the organization. So these are the challenges I see in traditional organizations, and some of the the actions or the initiatives we can highlight here. I have shared.
Yeah. So thanks, Pradesh, for that answer, because what it tells is, as you said, the visionary, the binding of the management, how well the management support, and also how much passion that you create within your team so that they won't resist. The resistance will always be taken off when you have passion within it. So it's exactly the same thing. So thank you very much, Pradesh, for that explanation. And that basically brings us to the end of the 2 rounds. And now we can open it up to the audience for the questions. I think there are lots of questions have been coming up. And from that, yes, let me take one. And there's this question. We see a lot of companies moving into flexible working conditions, and work from home is a part of the flexible working. We have a question here on that. Even though the working from home is a good option, now it has become a problem as the work-life is threatened. How can the managers or the management or the organizations better manage it? Sajiva, would you mind answering this question?
Okay. It's a very common situation now. It has come because earlier also I touched base because the customers, if you look at it, how they work has changed. Because even when you say don't send the sample or samples are being collected by the customer on these days, because there are particular days, not 5 days, the customers are coming to office. So with that, the teams who work again in this end, as a supply end, is being scattered. So they also go to office about 2-3 days. This is where it comes very compulsory. I'm saying it's further called compulsory more than the requirement to have a lean discipline. Because lean is talk about systematically how you look at it and the waste and how you're removing. Because otherwise it become a waste, because a lot of unrest is coming in. Because today also there was a person who's called me and say, look here, the workload is being tremendously going up. We have to do 2-3 people's work from home, as well as when the children are disturbing and all these situation. And that person's spouse is working in a remote area. So we was talking about, so how to manage it. It was a real pain. So first I have to say, answering to it, the organization leadership has to understand when they're putting these Zoom calls or Blue Jeans calls and all these things at night, how to bring a discipline, how you are going to get it. So that's where I was talking about. One is the leader standard worksheet, or whatever it is, how you work and synchronize the work pattern, how you work. And then again, more than ever before, how you understand the customer requirement. That is also very important, because you can't have several points to check, because the person who's doing is maybe now directly in future, directly dealing with the customer. Because the earlier we were having a lot of hierarchies in our organization. Edwin touched base, it's moving from traditional to really lean Six Sigma organization, where really everyone has to be precise. So we are talk about the skill metrics and all these things, which is very important than ever before. So what I see, in summary, there is, as I said, the leadership should understand the trait of of lean principles, and then has to create a mechanism where the lean principles being cascaded, as well as how the team being engaged, where they don't have imbalance. Because I have seen with this situation, job migration also, that people are leaving organization and joining to other organizations. So that's something very, very crucially has to look into at this new normal. Right,
Right.
Noah?
Yes. True. Let me take another question which is popping up. And yes, this is one question. How lean, they're referring to the Toyota ways, synergizes with the Tesla ways, which is identical with fast breakthrough innovation. Edwin, would you like to give for this question? They're asking how lean the Toyota way synergizes with the Tesla ways, which is identical with fast breakthrough innovation.
So yeah, I could not, of course, directly speak to the Tesla way, but if you think of it to be a very innovative car, and then compare that with the Toyota ways of just-in-time delivery, getting flow in the organization, taking waste out. If you think Lean Six Sigma, that deals a lot with existing processes, existing processes that are slow, that are broken, that leads to defects, that leads to bad customer experience. And so these tools work really well to apply to existing processes that just need to be improved. A result of that, by the way, is often that you have to think innovative, and that leads to breakthrough solutions. So I think by looking at current state, you're actually going to think about, how can I get better? How can I get 5 times faster than today? How can I get products delivered with 80% less defects? That is breakthrough thinking. That's not to say that there is a place for just pure innovation, like starting from scratch, something that did not exist before, processes that did not exist before, and you have to develop them new. That has its own world, and that has its own place. Same, I've worked in the United States. 3M did the same thing. Big company, big global company. They had both a place for Lean Six Sigma, deal with current challenges, but also there needs to be a place for innovation and breakthrough thinking based on where nothing exists. So I think I cannot speak to Tesla. I'm more familiar with the Toyota way, but if I think of innovation and breakthrough, that can nicely sit next to Lean Six Sigma, which has to do with fixing current state defects and processes.
All right. So thank you very much, Edwin, for answering that question. Yes, let me pick another question. And yes, we talked about it and we explained it, but still, this question, I feel that we should further explain it and make sure that everyone feels good about it. How should Lean be implemented towards the customer interface side of the business? So I'm going to Pradesh on this. We talked about it, but why not we talk more and give them more?
Yes. Yeah. No. Now I think he's referring to the front end of the business. Now, but I have covered the entire scope of it end to end. So this is one part of it. Now, the first thing I tell you is, it is not only the front end, the entire process, entire value chain from customer to delivering the product. End to end, this lean process, lean methodology, you definitely can apply once you start visualizing it through the different lean tools. Of course, now the highlight here is the front end. The same way, now customer interaction in the front end, I think he's referring to this marketing or the front end officer, then the customer. So again, it's a process and you are delivering a service. That's the mindset you need to have. First thing in this lean implementations, identifying waste, you need to have the right mindset. So when you see a process, you should be able to identify what are the waste activities, what are the non-value adding activities, what are the value adding activities, what are the business value adding activities. Once you start seeing them as waste or the inefficiencies, you definitely can improve. Then you automatically the improvements will come behind you. So the thing is, now you need to the first thing is you need to see them. To see them, you will have to use some of this lean the tools, visualize them. Maybe the process mapping. Once you start them, you can see them. So then you can do the implementations. So again, the same thing will apply to the backend as well. I hope I have answered his question.
Yeah. So yes, Pradesh, thank you, because we reiterated on the same things, but still, yes, why not we talk more so that they will get more. And with that, it comes to an end because the time that is available for us, it has come to an end. We are almost there. The 9 p.m. is almost there. So I would thank Edwin, Sajeev, and Pradesh for sharing your expertise here. And it was a wonderful experience. I hope that everyone who took part today, who attended today to witness this webinar, got what you wanted. And the time is limited. We are changing so fast. The world is changing so fast. Yes, we are in the new normal, but the things will change much faster. Lean leadership and Lean Six Sigma is the way forward. So we'll always try to understand what we talked here and make sure that we adapt ourselves and apply what we learn from this and make our way forward better. So thank you very much, everyone who joined with us today. And there were lots of questions posted, and we'll make sure that we answer your questions, even the ones that we could not take up here. We'll try to send an answer you who sent it to us. Once again, thank you very much, everyone, for joining, and keep safe and make sure we are moving forward. Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.